So good morning, everyone. I hope you have briefly gone through the previous lectures. So if you still have any doubts in setup or going through the basics, you can type in the comments or in the team. We have created the two channels for the doubt. One is for technical doubts and another is for the conceptual doubts. So this is Durgesh. I am logged in from the Rahul's account. So we'll start the Tuesday's workshop. This is the day 3, and this is session 6. So we'll briefly go through what we have completed till far. We have seen the Python introduction and the motivation why why the Python is like the so popular in the recent times, and what we can achieve using the Python language, like the ranging from the day-to-day research work, data analysis, web development, and application development. We have also seen the different Python setup. In local setup, we have seen the mini conda and the VS code. We have seen the mini conda along with the Jupyter notebook. On cloud, we have seen the using the Google Colabs. We have also seen the few major commands of the conda, like creating an environment, managing environment, activating environment, and installing package inside the environment. So you can further refer to this link for managing the conda environment. So we have also covered the print statement, printing printing a string with a variable, print with string formatting using dot format function, and print with f string, print with non-printable character like backslash and backslash t etc. We have seen the input function which takes input from the user using the terminal. We have also seen the keywords like the help and the type to see the documentation. We have also seen the formatting in IPython notebook. Like we have seen the code cell, markdown or raw and we convert cell. We have seen how to create level 1 and level 2 headers and so on. We have also seen how to write a single line comment in Python. We have seen the data types available in Python. Data types are also called batteries of the Python programming. In primitive data types, we have seen integer with symbols we write as int. We have seen float, string, complex, boolean, and none. In compound data types, we have already seen the list and tuple. We'll see that set and dictionary today. So we have seen the basic operations supported on the integer and float data type, like the plus, minus, multiplication, division, remainder, etc. We have also seen the operations supported on string data type, like string concatenation, strings methods like dot upper, dot lower, dot capitalize, dot count, dot find, dot split, dot strip. We will discuss the dot strip today. Apart from dot strip, we have discussed other functions already. We have covered like how to initialize a list. Like the list is basically a big bracket initialized by a big bracket. The symbol of list in Python is big bracket. So we can either initialize fruits list as empty list, or we can have the content in fruits list like apple, mango, orange, etc. Properties is heterogeneity, can contain elements of different types. It can contain simultaneously, it can contains like integer, float, string, or combination of those. It can increase in size like on demand. Like if we want to add one element to a list, we can add one element. If we want to delete an element, we can do so. So it supports the dynamic resizing, and it is also mutable. We can change the part of list, or we can replace a part of list. So even the like we can have the list inside list, tuple inside list, dictionary inside list, and so on. So we'll see the further examples. Like we can have the nested data structure or like that, and for that we don't need to explicitly write any code. Like we don't need to define like how to define and how to operate on list of list. Just using the same way we are defining a single level list, we can define a list of list or list of tuple. So we have also seen how to access an element of list. Index of an list is start from 0 and goes up to size of list -1. We have seen the reverse indexing of list like -1, -2, etc. We have seen how to cut a certain portion of list like slicing, striding. Striding is just cutting a start from end with a gap of certain interval. We have seen the accessing element. We have not seen the accessing element of a string, but in the same way, we have indexed and the accessed and performed slicing and striding on the list. We can same way we can perform on the string also. We have seen the few methods on the list like dot append to add the element at the last, dot insert, which will take also the position along with the new elements to be inserted. We have seen the method to search an element in the list like dot index. We have also see how to delete an element from the list like dot pop, dot remove, del. You can further go through the Geeks for Geeks link to see the examples of dot pop, dot remove, and del. We can count the number of occurrences of an atom in a list using dot count functions. And like this is what I like about the function, like the Python. Like if you want to add to list, just a plus function is sufficient to concatenate two list. Fruit list total is equal to fruit list 1 plus fruit list 2. So as simple as that, you can like add to list using just a plus function. So we have seen the few more methods supported on list like length. We will see further the mean, max, sum. It is supported on numeric data type only. We will see further the reverse function and dot sort method. We will see the nested list, list of a list, list of a tuple, list of a dictionary, list of heterogeneous element, etc. We have seen the tuples. So the tuple is characterized by the small bracket, like the fruits tuple is equal to a small opening bracket and close opening bracket, like the smaller one, whereas the list was the bigger bracket. So or we can directly like the initialize with the content like the fruits tuple, apple, mango, orange, etc. The key difference of the tuple property with respect to the list properties are like the tuple are of fixed size. Once you define a tuple, its signs cannot be changed on demand, doesn't support insertion of new elements, deletion of elements. Heterogeneity, it can contain, like a list, it can contain elements of different data types. Like one or a part of tuple might be integer, another part might be string, another part might be a float, like that. It is immutable. So part of, sorry, it is a typo here, part of list, no, part of tuple cannot be changed or replaced. I will correct this slide, it is a typo here. So part of tuple cannot be changed or replaced. So this is the key difference, like this fixed size and immutable. So list versus tuple use case we have already seen, and I have also given an example in the assignment to think in which case we should use list and in which case we should use tuple. We have already seen a like the while counting the number of words in a sentence, we have seen the examples using the split functions. Further, we will also see the more examples to convert a string to list and list to string. Today's lectures, specifically this section, we will go through the conditional statement like if else, if else if, like written as elif and else. We will see the loop, specifically the for loop, and then we will see the function lambda function, custom sorting on the list using the lambda function, And in subsequent section we will further cover more, like the while loop, like the list enumerations, like that. So I think it is an old lecture. I will download the new one to do it. Just give me 2 minutes to download the new one. Sorry for the glitch. It was the old slides that I've shared with you guys. So we will today discuss the condition statement, looping, for loop, function definition, OS library, and string to list and list string conversion. So we'll start with the condition statement. In often we have to make a decision. We have to choose a path at crossroads. So to support that, we have a keyword known as if, and it is like the one of the fundamental thing of a programming, and it is present in across all the languages like the beat, MATLAB, Python, C. So we have a if condition, colon, and some block of a statement. So here, here we can see that based on the condition, the program control will decide whether the control will enter the if block or not. So what do we mean by if block? So here, as we can see that few parts of the statement are like the indented by the tab. So this, the to print statement here is part of a if block, and the if block starts after a statement like if condition and the colon. So colon indicates that next thing will be a part of this block. In C, we have a curly braces to denote the block of statement. Here we have a colon mark. So please note this colon mark. Even it will be same across all the block like the for, while or anything. Any block of statement will start after the colon mark, and all the statement within a block has to be indented. So indentation can consist of either a tab or a 4 space or 2 space, but we have to be consistent with the indentation. We can't mix tab and spaces both for indentation, otherwise it will give an indentation error. So condition is a, like the it finally whatever the condition you write, it will be finally evaluated to a boolean variable like true or false, and if it is a true it will enter into the if block, otherwise it will not enter the if block. So if block can have more than one statement. So like here suppose we have only one statement, like suppose we x denotes here the Mars. So if x is 80 and we can see that if x is greater than 40, so it is simply printing greater than 40, and outside this if block there is a print end of the program. So yeah, like we can have this like the same program can be represented using this graph like this. So we in the first line of statement is x equal to 80. Then the second line of statement is a decision statement x greater than equal to 40. If this decision is true, it will go to the next statement greater than 40. Otherwise, if it is false, it will directly come to the last statement end of the program. So if block can have one or more than one statement, we'll see in the consecutive example. So we will spend here 1 minute to understand better. Like first block is the before the loop is condition block start. So it is a simple initialization of x equal to 80. In the second line we have if x greater than 40. So just I have written as a comment like this to denote line number 1 and line number 2. So in the second line, line number 2, we have a condition x greater than 40. So if x is equal to 80, then this condition is always like the obviously true. So it will come to the next statement greater than 40, print greater than 40. If x equal to 30, then this statement x greater than 40 will become false, and it will come directly end of the program. So next slide, it denotes like the if we have the multiple statement within a block, how it will behave. So similarly, we have the x equal to 80 and then the condition x greater than 40. If it is greater than 40, then it will execute both the statement greater than 40 passed the exam, and then it will come to the end of the program. If x is not greater than equal to 40, then it will directly come to the end of the program. So notice the start of the any block is denoted by the colon character, and after that all the statement that are a part of the block is shifted by one tab or 4 space or 2 space. So basically these two statement are a part of if block and they are indented by a tab in this case. So if block can have one or more statements, last line is out of block, this print end of program is out of the if block, and it will execute irrespective of the value of the condition. So if you have any query, you can write in a chat in understanding this this slide or the if condition. If you have any query or any doubt, you can write in the chat. Okay, so next we have the if fields. So what about like the suppose in life we are appearing for a like any exam. So we might have the plan A or plan B. So or we like the suppose we are planning for something. So here like the we have if x is greater than 40, then it will print greater than 40 and pass the exam. Otherwise it will print the reappear in the exam. So it will just simply denote that, like in the false case also, in the previous case, in the false case we don't have any statement, but in this case, in the false case also we have a statement to execute, like reappear in the exams. So the slides here are a little bit overlapped, so I will fix this later after the class. So, and I will also show the IPython notebook, so there it will be more clear. So if the condition x greater than 40 evaluates to true, it will enter the if block. If the condition x greater than 40 evaluates to false, it will enter the else block. This, in the else block we have print reappear the exam, and outside the if block and else block we have end of the program. So we further have the if else block. So else if in short here written as elif. So again here is typo, instead of if it has become off, it is if x greater than 80, then print admission in DPS school. If else if x greater than 40, admission in XYZ school. Else, like if it is so we have a if block and else block. If condition like the we have a if block, else if network. Am I audible now? Yeah. So we will see the like we'll see the execution of if loop. So I will give 2 minutes to open the IPython notebooks. So I have already opened IPython notebook using the VS Code. So whatever ways you prefer, using the Jupyter notebook or the VS Code, you can open the day 3 session 6 IPython notebook. So if you are facing issue in opening, then I will briefly demonstrate how to open that, and you can mention in a chat, but we will not invest more than 5 minutes to do so. So I hope everybody has opened this day 3 session 6 IPython notebook. It was available in the link given in the chat. So you can access the IPython notebook along with the complete folder. So we have like here, like we have shared this link, and inside day 3 this, and we have this day 3 session 6, and it also require the images folder. So should I start demonstrating the IPython notebook? Yeah, so we have already seen the if loop. If the condition, like there is a initialization of a variable, then the condition checking, and if this condition is true, then it will execute if block, otherwise it will come to the end of the program. So like this, x is 80 here. If x is greater than 40, otherwise end of the program. So cancel. Okay, here I will just change the environment from base to data science, and then I will re-execute this statement. Yes, greater than 40, end of the program. So since x is greater than 40, it is printing both greater than 40 and end of the program. So this block of statement demonstrate the if block with single statement and condition in which the condition is evaluated to true. In the next, the similar example, but only we have changed the x equal to 30. So that when condition evaluated to false, how does the program behaves? When condition evaluated to false, it just print end of the program. It doesn't print greater than 40. Okay. So in next, we have more than one statement in if block greater than 40 and passed the exam. So again, we have a if block x greater than 40 is the condition with the multiple statement, and in this case we have set the value x equal to 80 so that the condition is evaluated to true. So it should print, since the condition is evaluated to true, it should print greater than 40, pass the exam, as well as end of the program. So it has printed greater than 40, passed the subject, end of the program. So similar statement, just we have changed the value of x here 30. So that this condition evaluate to false. So if we run this, so it will print only the end of the program. So previous value here was 80. So you can change the value from 80 to 30 here to show that if block with multiple statement, how it behaves when condition evaluated to the false. So next we will show the if else block. So we'll initialize the x with 80. Our condition is same. If x is greater than 40, then it will print the greater than 40, pass the exam. Otherwise, it will print reappear the exam. And outside the if and else block, it will print end of the program. So here we are demonstrating if else block with multiple statement, and in this case, condition is evaluated to true. So when we execute this, we are getting greater than 40 passed in the subject and end of the program. So we are executing this if block. After first it gets assigned x equal to 80, then it checks the condition here. If x is greater than 40, because this condition is evaluated to true, it will enter the if block. It will print greater than 40 passed in the subject, and then it will not go to the else block because this statement is already evaluated to true. So it will directly come here, print end of the program. So assignments for now, like you have to check whether an integer, take an integer as input and check if it is an even number or odd number. So can you try it now? And so now after that I will show the solution here itself. So we can write x is equal to, input was the keyword to take any input. So x equal to input, then enter a number, message to display, and the colon, just like that. Colon is not part of syntax here, just we can write anything like arrow or anything. So after that we will get x, and then we can have the condition if x x divided by 2, then its remainder should be 0. So x remainder 2 equal to 0, then we have to just print even number. So print x is even, otherwise else block, print x is odd. Okay, so do you think there is this program will work, or there is some error in this program? Yeah, as Subrata has rightly pointed that by default input gives a string type. So you have to typecast it to integer type. So first let us try like what message it gives so that we understand the language of the compiler also, like interpreter in this case. So it is telling to in like give me a input. So I will just write 45. So it is telling me that if x in this line there is an error, not all arguments converted during the string formatting. So uh, we might not get a complete sense here, like the string, and this we are trying to format sub string, but like the not all arguments converted. So basically we have to typecast this to the integer. And then we run it again, and then suppose we do at 42 integer x is even. So we got correct input, like the x is even. So we can further format these things like x. We can replace the value of x using the format keyword. So dot format, and we can write x here. So whatever the value, similarly in the odd we can write here dot format, and we can write x. So if we run like this, so if we give the 7 and enter, so dot format, okay, typo, I am like format, okay, suppose I give 7 then enter, 7 is odd. So thus we have seen the if else block. We have also seen the how to typecast a string. By default input takes a string to integer. Similar way we can typecast to the float, like that. So if else block with the multiple statement, when the condition will be false, so we have, it will just print it because x is 30. So this condition if x greater than 40 will evaluate to false. It will only enter the else block, reappear the exam, and it will print end of the block. So we have already executed like the if else block. So we have like the suppose this is the multiple condition, like the nested condition checking. So if the plan A is failed, we will check for plan B. If plan B is also failed, we will go to the plan C, like that. It is a like a staircase. So it will only enter these two if this condition is false. Otherwise, it will not enter these two. So here x is equal to int integer input. We have typecasted the marks to integer variable. If marks is greater than 80, we will take admission in DPS school. If X is greater than 40, we will take admission in XYZ school. Otherwise, we will reappear the exam and finally end of the program. So when we run this, suppose we give like we give marks as 94. So it has printed admission in the DPS school and end of the program. So it was condition was true. So it has not checked this condition and it has not neither gone through the else block. So if we rerun with like the something like the 74, so it printed admission in XYZ school because this condition is false. X is equal to 7, X is equal to so X is equal to 70 something. So we can like the it doesn't enter into the if block. It will check the else if condition. It is true. So it will take the print in admission in XYZ school. So here we can also write X equal to what? X equal to this using the same format keyword. By mistake, like the click the insert button and hence now it is printing the value of X also. X equal to 94, admission in DPS school, end of the program. So we can have a space here. We can remove the space. So if X is equal to say 76, then X equal to 76, admission in XYZ school, end of the program. So this was the brief overview of conditional if else, if and the else. So this is the home assignment. You have to take integer number as input and check whether it is divisible by 10 or not. In the second assignment, you have to take a string as an input denoting the name of person. Check whether number of character in the name is less than 8 or not. In the third example, you have take a string as an input. The string denotes the password. The string must follow the following constraint: an alphabet of that contains the A to Z or capital A to Z, a number between 0 to 9, any special character like exclamation mark, at the rate, hash, dollar, percentage, and up arrow and star. If the string contains all three constants, print the valid password. Otherwise, print which constraint are missing. So this is the home assignment. So now we'll see the loop things. So you can type any doubt if you have in the chat section. We'll take like the pause for 20 seconds, 30 seconds just for your doubts. So I think nobody has any doubt. So let's is go through the loop. So we might know the famous book, the habit book. So the habit starts with a cue. Suppose you see ice cream, then you get the craving for the ice cream, and then when you eat the ice cream, you got like the bunch of sugar and the and then your brain stores that it is a sweet, and you have to repeat the actions. So this is kind of habit loop. You get a cue, you got, so you establish a routine, you get a reward, and this, whenever you again see the cue, you will get the cravings for the reward, and hence you will follow the routines. So this was just to, so what do you mean by the loop? So anything, any repetitive actions, we can call it a loop. Suppose we might often like the wake up at 8 a.m., 9 a.m., 10 a.m., or whatever the certain time. We might follow the, if we observe our routine, we might think that we are deciding much of our things. But if we just take a note of all the things that we do in a day, so most of the things we might be doing out of our habit loop. So in the C, we define the habit loop like the for loop, sorry, habit loop, for loop like this: for I is equal to 0, I less than 5, I plus plus do something, or any loop statement. So it can be represented using the diagram like this: start of the loop, and there is a condition checking, and if this condition is true, we execute the loop statement, and after that we again go to the condition checking, and in this way we keep repeating this loop until the condition is false. And so after the condition is false, we execute after loop statement. So here, like this become the initialization start part of the loop, I is equal to 0, and then this is the loop statement, do something and loop statement, and after this loop statement, this increment or decrement operator is executed, I plus plus, and then we again check whether I is greater than 5 or not, less than 5 or not. And if it is not less than 5, then again we do the loop statement, and we again increment or decrement something. So this is the typical C syntax. Now we will move to the Python syntax. In Python, what do we mean by loop? In Python, basically for loop iterates over any sequence. So it uses the in keyword to iterate over any sequence, and for each of the item in the sequence, it will do some actions. So for loop basic syntax can be broken into the three parts, like the any sequence name where you have to iterate. So like in this example, fruits list equal to apple, orange, mango. For fruits in fruit list, print fruit. So here we have the sequence named as fruit list. So this is the first thing that we require for a for loop, a sequence, and then we require a temporary variable to assign to each item of this list. So we have assigned a temporary variable named fruit for fruit in fruits list. So fruit is the variable assigned to each item of the sequence, and the action inside, like the here the block of statement or for block, it consists of only one statement, print fruit, action on each statement. Notice the colon and indentation inside the block. So like the if statement, here also we have a colon to denote a indentation or a block, and like the all the statement of a block are indented by a tab or a 4 space or 2 space. So this is the simple for loop. Then we see the like the outputs. If we just type this fruits list equal to apple, orange, mango for fruit in fruit list. So notice the keyword for and in are the two keywords. Fruit is the temporary variable named associated with each of the item in the sequence. Sequence is the fruit list. So first the fruit will point to the apple, and then it will print the fruit, it will print the apple. The second time fruit will point to the orange, and then it will print the orange, and the third time the fruit will print like the assigned to the mango, and it will print mango, and after that this loop will be completed. So so there is another keyword named as enumerate. So basically in the C we were enumerating any sequence with the help of like the index, like the for I is equal to, typical example in the C was for I equal to 0, I less than something, I plus plus or I minus minus and do something. So here if we want to typically do in like that, like we along with the item or the temporary variable, we also want the index. So enumerate is the keyword. To do so, enumerate returns an object. What is an object? We will see in the upcoming section when we will discuss about the class. So enumerates returns an object, yielding yielding a tuple. So the each part of the tuple is the count of the sequence and the item of the sequence as follows. So like here 0 sequence 0 1 sequence 1 2 sequence 2 like that. So 0 is the count, like the count of the sequence 0, and the sequence 0 is the item 0, and like the 1 is the second count, and the sequence 1 is the second item. So we define fruits list is equal to apple, orange, mango. For I comma fruit in enumerate fruit list, print I comma fruit. So it will print like 0 apple, 1 orange, 2 mango, and so on. So yield is might be the new keyword. So yield returns from a function while preserving the state of a local variable inside a function. So this might seem the complex, like so many things we have not seen the function yet and the state of the local variable. So those who know the function and the local variable and the state, they can see this refer link. But in brief, I will just tell you that like the suppose there are the some state or the something that has been completed in the function. So next time function will save those state and use the same state of the variable. So suppose the function has already the like this has already returned this tuple, then next time it will return this tuple, like the one sequence one. In the next time it will return two sequence two. So here the state will be saved, how much it has iterated or how much it has returned. So in this way, so somebody had posted, yeah, instead of fruit we can use any other keyword. It is just like the we have used a variable name and we don't need to define it a priori. Like we have not defined a fruit anywhere. We have just defined a fruits list sequence. So here also fruit list can be anything, like the we can like the item list, you can define an item list, and here you can have the for I comma item in enumerate. So similarly in the previous example we can have instead of fruit we can have the item. For item in fruits list, print item comma length of item. Instead of fruit any other keyword, yeah, instead of fruit we can define any other keyword like the item or like that. We can have the item, we can have any my variable, we can have any underscore if we don't want to use that variable at all. Like just we have to do some another things. So like that. So we have seen the basic for loop syntax. For a variable name in sequence, do something with the each atom of the sequence. So if we want to get the index also along with the item, we have to use the enumerate keyword. For I comma fruit in enumerate sequence name fruits list, print I comma fruit. So we can also use the range function for using for loop. So range function return an object to produce a sequence of integer. So basic structure of range function is it takes three argument: start, stop, end. Those who have already done with the MATLAB programming, they have also seen the range functions the similar way. The range function exists in the MATLAB program also. So it will return a range object. Suppose range 4 to 10 2 4 10 2. So it will return a range of integer starting from 4 up to 10 with a gap of 2. So 4 6 8. Notice that we have not included a 10 here because the stop the end thing is like, okay, so this is not end here. This is a typo here again in the range object. It is the step size. Start, stop, step. It is not end here. So it will like the basic syntax of range is start, stop, and the step size. How much step size you have to take. So it will start from 4. It will go up to 10. 10 is not inclusive. 10 is exclusive. So and it will go with the step size of 2. So 4, it will start from 4. It will increment by 2. It will go to 6. It will again increment by 2. It will go to 8. It will again increment by 2. It will go to 10, but it will not include 10. So start it is inclusive, but end is not inclusive. So like for num in range, so num is temporary variable name associate like that will be assigned to each atom of this sequence. Num in range 4 to 10 with 2 print num. How can we write for I is equal to m n and end in the loop just like a MATLAB? Yeah, I will show in the IPython notebook. Thank you, Nagendra, for this question. And again, what if there is a duplicate atom in the list? Yeah, so it will treat both the atom as a separate atom. Like it is just iterating through each list. It doesn't care whether they are duplicate atom, there are unique atom like that, or there are different types of atom. Like some atom is integer, some atom is string, because list can't contain heterogeneous atom. So it will print multiple times. Yeah, it will print multiple times. So now we'll move to the IPython notebook. So we have seen that a loop, start of the loop, then the condition, then the loop statement, and it will again and again check the condition till the condition is false. So it will loop here from the condition to loop statement to condition. If when the condition is false, it will exit the loop and it will go to the after loop statement. Okay, so basic structure of the loop using the in keyword. So we have to define a sequence, fruits list, apple, orange, mango. For fruit in fruit list, print fruit. So if we just run this, we get the apple, orange, mango. So just to clarify the things, so we will add like a code cell here. We will copy the things. So we will change the variable, temporary variable name assignment. We will change it to item. And then here we are doing with the item, and it will print the same thing. It will print sorry, not here, here. It will print apple, orange, mango. So instead of like the for fruit in fruit list, we have done for item in fruit list, print item. So here it was print fruit. So we can use any name here. So I hope that dot is clear. Then we will see the like further. We were printing just the fruit name. What about like the doing something more? So fruit list, apple, orange, mango. For fruit in fruit list, print fruit and length of the fruits. So when we execute this statement, so we get apple 5, orange 6, mango 5. So we can have the similar to if block, we can have the multiple statement here, like anything uh, like print um, it may be done, just done, just to show that in uni-net. Yeah, so this is a good example, because here you see there is a space and here it is tab. So uni indent doesn't match the outer level indentation. So just I will tab and then see, yeah, print done. Inconsistent use of tab and spaces. So one places I have the tab, here I have a tab, here I have a space, I guess. So I will make both the tab. So this is the common error. So note this error, inconsistent use of the tab and spaces. So most of the IDE like the facilitate you to automatically convert all the tabs to the 4 spaces or 2 spaces. So this is the one of the common thing you will get. inconsistent use of tab and the indentation. So here, if you like the, just I will repeat the things. Here I am putting a tab, okay, and here I am putting a 4 space, 1 2 3 4, and then I am running. So here it is telling that uni indent doesn't matter, the outer level indent. I think that tab size is not uniform. So yeah, it has run. So yeah, so suppose I will change here to the 4, 1 2 3 4. So it is running because it has converted to the tab to spaces. Suppose here I am telling the tab, so uni indent doesn't matches the outer level indent. So we have not configured the IDE properly. So there was inconsistent like that. That's why the people suggest usually to use the 2 space or instead, or the 4 space instead of tab, because tab might be configured differently on different systems. So here we get that done, apple 5 done, orange 6 done, mango 5 done. So we have also seen by default the print will print like the end the sentence with a backslash n or the next line. So we can customize that by using a end keyword. If we want to end this with a, like the say we want to end with semicolon, this statement. So like apple 5 semicolon done, orange 6 semicolon done, mango 5 semicolon done, like that. So next we will see the for with enumerate. So we'll just use the help keyword to get more details about the enumerate. So it is a class, it returns an enumerate object, it takes a iterable start equal to 0. So an object supporting iteration, the enumerate object yields a pairs containing a count from the start which defaults to 0 and value yielded by iterable argument. So like it prints like the, it gives 0 sequence 0, 1 sequence 1, 2 sequence 2, and so on. So for I comma fruit in enumerate fruit list, print I comma fruit. So along with the item, it will also print the index. So there are further more advanced thing you can tell from where you have to start. Like by default, it starts from 0. Suppose you want to tell that it should start indexing from the 1, so it will do so. It will start from 1. So enumerate, then this sequence and start value you can define. If you don't define the start sequence like this, it will by default start with the 0. But suppose you are defining the start sequence, like suppose 2, then it will start with the 2. Okay. So then the for range keyword, range return a object producing a sequence of integer. The syntax of range is range start end step. Start is inclusive while end is exclusive. So for this is the syntax using the range. For num in range 4 to 10, step size of 2, print num. So it is printing 4 6 8. So end is compulsory argument here. Start and end is optional argument. If start is not provided, it will by default start from 0. If end is not provided, it will by default start like the, it will be, sorry, again it is not end, it is the step here. If step is not provided, it will be by default 1. So and notice this will produce only the integer. So if you want to produce a list of like the iterables of the float, then you just Google search it, and we will discuss in the next class how to produce a like the iterables of a float objects. Like the, suppose you want a step size of 0.1 from between 1 to 10, you want a step size of 0 to 10. So using just range keyword also there is a like the jugaad, or you can manage. So can you tell how to manage? Suppose you want to print something like this. So uh, you want to print something like this, from 4, then 4.1, 4.2, like that, 4.3, like that, and so on up to 9. Then how to do this? Using the range keyword only. You don't have to use any other thing, but you have to do this only. So this might be a good home assignment. Mm, so uh, so you can think in the home, and then it might be a good assignment. If you have to, there is also separate keyword which return the floating point range, but if we are using only the range keyword, how to get this sequence 4.0, 4.1, 4.2, 4.3, like that to 9.0. So then we'll proceed here. Like the, if we see the for num in range 2 to 6, print num. So we are getting 2, 3, 4, 5, but we are not getting 6 because this end is excluded. End is not part of this return function. Okay. So if here we can see that when we take a help of a range, it has the two ways of calling a range class, or making a range. You just give a stop, so you can ignore the start and the step size. So by default, start will be 0 and step will be 1. Either other way, you can give the start, stop, and here also step size is optional. So if you don't give a step size, it will be 1 by default. Okay. So there are other things. So the assignment for now, print the number greater than 99 and less than 1000 which are divisible by 5. And in the meantime, first I will discuss the how can we write the for the 1 equal to m to n end Python, just like the MATLAB. So it is very simple. For suppose I in range, for like for I in range, say we have to 1 to m. So 1 up to go to m, 1 to m step size of n. So it is step size of n. So you have to define mn and then print I. Print I. So suppose mm, m is 10. We are taking a short value, and n is 2. N is 2. So here, so this was the required output you were asking for, Nagend. Like it is going from 1 to 9, 1 to, because 10 is exclusive in this syntax. So 10 is excluded. So it is going from 1 to 10 with range of 2. Okay. And then Mrityunjay was asking what if there is a duplicate element in the list. So suppose we have a integer, we define a list, integer list, just to make it simple, 1 2 3 4 1 2. So it has duplicate element. So for I anything item, I anything you can say int list print item. Okay, so it has printed 1 2 3 4 1 2. How to print floating point values using range, that was the take home assignment. Like the here you have to, I have given just no assignment, you have to print something like 4.0, 4.1, 4.2. So you think over it. There is also explicit function which gives the floating point range, but without using the those functions, using the range function only, how can you like the get this kind of thing? This is a thinking assignment, and you have to try in your home. Then after that, you have to try now this assignment, like print the number greater than 99 and less than 1000 that is divisible by uh, 5. So I will give 2 minutes to solve this query. or maybe 1 minute. After that, I will discuss and we'll take a short break. So So I will type here the correct solution for num in range. We have to start from, the question is greater than 99. So greater than 99, so it has to go from 100 because it is not greater than equal to. Then it less than 1000. So less than 1000, we can keep 1000, and we divisible by 5. So even though if we give the step size 1, like the one solution is that, then we will check the if num modular 5 is equal to 0. Here we are checking divisible by 5, then we will print num. So one way is that, and so we are getting 100 like that, and we will getting 995. So another way is, so suppose we because it is going too long, so we will tell end equal to, say, the comma and the space. So print num, and so invalid syntax end equal to, okay, again the insert function, then it is printing from 100 to 995. Another way that we already know that every, like the divisible by 5, it will come only after 5. So we can tell that directly to increase the step size by 5, and then we don't need to check here even this divisibility criteria. Then we can write here like this: for num in range 100 to 1000 with a step size of 5, so it will print the 100 to 995. So most of the solution was correct. 100 to 200, yeah, for 100 to 1000, yeah, 9 1000 1, if I, yeah, print I. So Krishna, yeah, if block columns, you have given a semicolon. So yeah, so most of the solution were correct. How to give two condition if in the if loop? Yeah, use, nice question. How to give a multiple condition in a if loop? Low. So like uh, multiple condition in if loop. So you can join the multiple condition using the keyword and or like that. So suppose if num is greater than 100 and num is less than 400, print num 400. So tab print num, and we will take the number as a input from the user. So say num is equal to input, enter a number, and then we will typecast this to a integer, and then we will run, and this colon is missing, and then it is asking for me to output something. Suppose I am rating 40, so it will not print anything. So I should give a print statement here just to make sure that like completion of program. So even though if it doesn't enter the block, we get still that it is like correct. So completion of program, because we have given okay, and so we have entered x equal to 65. So this condition was false. So we can write print here like x is, and then we can use format function to x. So like the 68, then x is okay. We have missed the placeholder like this. So like 65, then enter, x is 76, completion of program. So again we run, like if we give like something like the 365, then enter. Okay, we are using here x and we are calling here num. So here we have to write num and the format num. So if we are taking 365, then num is 365, print num, completion of the program. Increasing 0.1 step, range 0.1 I into 1.1. But yeah, it will do so into 0.1, but you have to get the range function also correct. Like I am asking from the range from where I have written from 4 to 9. So you are partially correct. So no, double and doesn't work here like the C. You have to use and or keyword. Okay, so this was the end of the session 6, day 3. So we can have a short breaks. So we can have a break of for what is the time now? Time is approx 12. So we can have the break for say 20 minutes. So we will resume the session at 12:20 sharp for next 1 hour. So I'm muting myself and the sub members can close the recording because it will be unnecessarily too much long recording to share. So sub member, please stop the recording. And if anybody has any